Hello, this is Johnny's Desk. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. Coming up this morning, opposition New Patriotic Party shifts focus to reconciliation after electing former Vice President Dr. Bawumia as its 2028 Flagbearer, with party leaders and other stakeholders urging unity as key to returning to power.
It matters not which side you supported. Winners and those who didn't win at this particular time, we are in this together.
Well, so in Kumasi and the NPP strongholds for reactions following that primary over the weekend. Also, patrons of Love and Joy FM expressed their appreciation as they turned up in their numbers to participate in the 2026 fitness exercises last Saturday.
This is my third time actually, and I'm from OFI. I thought for the past 3 years we partnership with you, and then I have been coming. I love to work.
These plus business updates on our desk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We start from the NPP. After a very fiercely contested primary, the New Patriotic Party is now turning its focus from competition to reconciliation as it works to rally all factions behind its newly elected Flagbearer, former Vice President Dr. Bawumia, ahead of the 2028 general elections. Dr. Bawumia emerged victorious at the end of months of nationwide campaigning that thirsted party unity. But in the immediate aftermath of the declaration, defeated contenders moved quickly to close rank. There's more in this report.
When the EC officials completed the counting, the figures told a clear story. Dr. Bawumia secured 56.48% of the valid votes, Kennedy Agyeman 23.76%, while Brian Champon polled 18.53%. Dr. Oseye Duchum and engineer Kobana Agyeman together accounted for less than 2%.
Mahamadou Bawumia obtained 110,643, representing 56.48%.
In his acceptance speech, Dr. Bawumia struck a conciliatory tone, acknowledging his competitors and urging party faithfuls to look beyond the contest and focus on the collective future.
I need to reiterate from the outset, our tradition has an enviable history of selecting leaders largely based on the mood of the party. At any point in time, our party unites around an individual, usually the best bet for national elections and governance. This individual usually emerges meritoriously on account of loyalty and contributions to party growth. It is our members' way of rewarding loyalty, vision, competence, and sacrifice. Our members have done this meticulously and repeatedly. As democratic space setters, we need to respect the wisdom and the decisions of our members represented by the delegates. It matters not which side you supported. Winners and those who didn't win at this particular time, we are in this together.
The remaining aspirants, including Kennedy Agyeman and Brian Champon, pledged their support to the party's Flagbearer elects. Their message was consistent: unity, mutual respect, and discipline.
I want to advise my supporters. First, I want to thank you, but advise that in election, you can win and you can lose. So if you lose, you have to accept it in good faith. So let's all of us throw our support to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Flagbearer.
Now more than ever, the MPP must stand united as one family. Our collective responsibility is to rebuild trust with Ghanaians, strengthen our structures, and prepare decisively for victory in 2028.
And I congratulated him for the sweet victory that he has secured. And I believe that the elephant will come back on track. We will be out of the woods. We are going to secure victory in 2028. That means we have to all come together. And together, forging unity, we will bring back the great elephant party where it ought to be.
That we have a wonderful opportunity to restore the values that animated the formation of this solid party, the MPP. We can be proud of our forebears, that our tradition is a tradition that is responsible for the sustenance of democracy in our country.
Beyond the results, another moment drew public attention. Former Presidents John Agyeman Kufuor and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo chose not to cast their ballots. According to the MPP's national organizer, Henry Nana Boakye, the decision was deliberate.
They are the people we go to for advice, for guidance. So they wanted to stay and then monitor the process so that after the process, they will be part of the reconciliation process.
Well, let's go to Kumasi now and get some reactions. My colleague Nana Boakye Iadom is on the grounds for us. Nana, what are you picking up?
Mami, we are live from Tech Junction to interact with some residents in the Ashanti region on what they make of the re-election of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party. In the Ashanti region, he won 45 constituencies out of 47. Yes, with Aduchum winning one constituency, which is the Bosomcho constituency, and then Dr. Brian Champo winning one of the constituencies in the Afuano area. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia received a resounding victory in the Ashanti region, adding up to the number of votes that he had across the country to gain the mandate as the leader of the MPP going into the 2028 election. But what does the ordinary Ghanaian make of this? The Ghanaian who is not necessarily a delegate of the MPP, but then one who holds a voter's ID card and who is willing to cast his vote in the 2028 election. So I'm here with one driver who would want to share his opinion. But Saturday MPP for Kotuabano, what generally who say?
Oh, enema ko ye pa sele na yesi ehwese ebesi no sa na si asundwe ene abotoye mu kwan so a ye fa so di Dr. Bawumia no efi se ekoye pa
na ekowie akire no Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia di nkunim Kennedy Japan edi second, Brian Champo di third, Eruchum Toso ena Kwabene Japan so Toso wadwi mu no na wo hwe ni mu se Dr. Bawumia be wini
sa pepe Dr. Bawumia na fi se enipa numna yi wo mo no de Dr. Bawumia ne nipa na oye popular fi se Ghana nyina na ewiase nyina ni mu no nti Dr. Bawumia na yi ne de no kwan so ano no eno bebo ama 2028 abato na beto no emu beye mre ama NPP.
Oh yeah, sure said Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia NPP betimi edi kunim 2028.
Pepe kunim de abawie kra pepe NPP bewe ne aba no pepe because so he Ghana politics no a wo he 2024 aba na eto ye no a en Ghana fo gina economy no so ene de to aba se ka ye ka se ye hwe infrastructure de a ene ka NPP me fi se omne ke besa we ne because ye hwe infrastructure NPP ye ma o man no a omo ya de pa ba Ghana hwe economy no ene de to aba no ma NDC fo ene NDC fo so ba ye no me hwe 1 year ni a President Mahama ne NDC be fa Ghana babanwa no a Womono baye no enam se womono ehwe economy no eno mo hwe so de edibu oman no ade chia ya tipatu so ko a ye hu infrastructure ba kokora
Enti wo dia odwin say Dr. Bawumia betimi adi nkunima my MPP.
Sa pepepe.
All right, thank you very much. And he's a driver at Tech Junction, says that he believes Dr. Mamudu Bawumia can help the MPP secure victory 2028. He says that there hasn't been so much done by the NDC government led by President John Mahama. For him, with Dr. Mamudu Bawumia, there's a simple victory. Already some of the drivers are gathered here. They were debating what happened on Saturday. But Saturday and about on me, so do when you be Dr. Bawumia, ABD MPP anima 2028 about on. What didn't China say?
Me my dika was a station where ya recently ya waha. Say omudi Dr. Bawumia ba emwa. Eti said the abrewa wu na ade abrewa ede. Edi ade. Na nyap man we ya no omudi anwa gallon one na na do dey anwa gallon coffee 1,500 no. Ono ana anyo no. Enya some man we say ya na omudi dollar cost 17 cedis as 16 cedis na. Enyo ono a. Edi anasesa. Enya man we ya no omudi diesel na driver for yentimi to a na ama oman entimi run na ama for apaki omo cars no. Enyo ono a. Emwa NPP.
Na wo hwe ni mo se hwan na nke betimi adi
kin ba ya anka ya nyina be sasan ya ti asa be di party na ti ene omo asom na de we se abrewa we ade abrewa di ade me sa me ha me honya dan enya ye we NDC e benya no culture.
Okay. He says that bringing Dr. Mamudu Bawumia is not the best option and that cannot bring victory to the MPP. But then I saw somebody was talking here and he had a different opinion. People seem to agree with him, others seem not to agree with him. But then let's speak an opinion. Unini Yajin said Dr. Bawumia be Mbo MPP.
Oh, Mbo MPP. Mbo MPP say. Aye eko ba ko na there's an anado no Bawumia can so no e meet. Nanado e driver. Especially say ka say Nanado nyi ever say finance minister ni mfi wor mo no. Omo ka wantie. Ebi Bawumia ko otu ne funu wamfa. Enti mate de untumi nka nche me driver ni say driver adenti na yanko say so ho. Enti se Bawumia ba me say me yasini na me support say ka Canada mra na say Canada ntumi ama na say Bawumia ba yenyina MPP ko na yenyina Ghana nkoso na yenyina ye
eti wo gidi say Dr. Mamudu Bawumia ababedi MPP anim ene awodemo 2028 election no mu betimi ade nkonim.
Oh, why not? Say even NDC for nsuko yi omu dia ba.
Eti den na wo hwe animu say efri ene akosi 2028 no be ye say de be a party ne betimi aba power.
There say Bawumia ye ne say say omu a ono omu contesting ni nyina wo frefre omu nyina no ni omu nyina kasa because na Kennedy owo ne supporters omu nyina aka no obi a wo ne supporters and say wo koye ne supporters ni leader na ono no to na ba ma no koye ne KKK ya ukwe ndi KK ya ono so nyedai ono so kache ni gofo a omo nto aba no nti de hia ye unity so mu nyina aka bom na so mu boa na se hu se odowom omo ko rally akoye campaign baabi ye hu se Bawumia nie aduchum nie verse Kennedy nie a why not say hu se odowom nti ye nyina ye nyedai ye moa.
All right, so he is saying that with unity.
Bawumia Baba 2028.
Oh yeah, sure.
Bawumia Baba 2028.
All right, thank you very much. I said that's one of the drivers that we spoke to. He says that with unity, the NPP can secure victory for with Dr. Mamudu Bawumia. All of them, all the aspirants who lost last Saturday, coming together, joining the NPP's new Flagbearer. He's hopeful that there can be victory in 2028. But these are the opinions that we've gathered from some of the drivers at Tech Junction. A lot of them seem to be excited about the election of Dr. Bawumia. Some of them have different opinions, saying that this is not what they were expecting. But Mamiesi, the opinions of the people and then that of the delegates seems to be that high for the MPP at the moment. And going forward, we'll hear what the ordinary Ghanaians also have to say about this. Over to you.
Thank you, Nana Boache Dankwa Yado. Meanwhile, the Minority Caucus in Parliament is amplifying that call for unity, urging party grassroots across the country to set aside divisions and rally behind Dr. Bawumia. Here are excerpts of that reaction from the minority. And that's signed by Minority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin. He says, on behalf of 87 members of parliament who constitute the minority in the 9th Parliament, I commend Dr. Bawumia for a campaign marked by vision, intellectual rigor, and resolute commitment to Ghana's progress. According to him, his election represents a clear mandate from NPP delegates across all 276 constituencies to lead the party into the 2028 general elections. His victory reflects the overwhelming confidence NPP delegates have placed in his leadership and vision for Ghana's future. He goes on to acknowledge that the intensity of the primary campaign produced moments of friction and discord. Such tensions are inherent in competitive democratic processes. However, the conclusion of this contest marks the beginning of a critical phase of reconciliation and unity. The painful 2024 electoral defeat taught us an invaluable lesson. Unity is not merely a political slogan, but our fundamental source of strength. He's urging party grassroots to channel considerable energies towards supporting Dr. Bawumia's leadership, whilst holding the governing NDC accountable for their stewardship of the nation, and congratulates once again this well-deserved victory for Dr. Bawumia. The NPP, both at home and abroad, looks to his leadership with confidence and expectation. Well, former Member of Parliament for Bantama, Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofo, wants the reconciliation process to start from the constituency level. He believes the divisions from presidential primary in the constituency units, which are crucial for the national election, shouldn't be left unaddressed.
The candidates, that's not the case. You know, everybody may have their own preferences, so that does not mean a division as it is, let alone for it to be sharp. People express their own opinion. People has the wherewithal to choose whoever they want. At the end of the day, after the voting, Bantama is as closely knit as ever. Whoever emerges will have the full support of the people of Bantama. Indeed, it is not the executives alone. It is also the electorates within the Bantama constituency. So that's not a big deal at all. As a former executive, a former chairman, a former MP, a former polling station executive, I have been a polling station executive chairman before. I've been electoral area coordinator before becoming two-term Bantama chairman. I know what it takes to bring people together. I mean, definitely conflicts and disputes here and there, but managing them is the key. We have what it takes to manage and then close whatever ranks you may be afraid of or you may be thinking of. That saying that, I think it should be translated to the entire constituencies within the country. And at times, some of these things may necessarily degenerate into something awkward. I don't want it to be. We don't want it to be. The reconciliation, the union coming together begins today after the declaration of the results. So I'm very much confident and I know we can do it. We've done it before and we're going to do it again.
Other parties, including the governing NDC and the Convention People's Party, have issued statements also congratulating the NPP. And let's get into the details of that of the NDC, signed by its national chairman, Johnson Esiedun Ketchen, says, we hereby offer congratulations to the NPP for the successful organization of a violence-free presidential campaign, primaries that saw Dr. Bawumia emerge as the party's candidate for the 2028 elections. He's also commending the Ghana Police Service for the remarkable and efficient manner that they secured the entire process. We welcome the collaboration and participation of the NPP and all other political parties in our collective national quest to strengthen and deepen our democracy. We have also taken note of the reconciliatory concession statements from the other unsuccessful candidates and hope that they walk their talk. President John Mahama has announced plans to construct a new airport for the Upper West region to be located in Wa. At the official launch of the Upper West Share Park Resource Hub project in Wa, he disclosed that funding will come from the recently passed Airport Infrastructure Levy.
Recently, we passed the Airport Infrastructure Levy. Courtesy of the Right Honorable Speaker, the levy was passed. It imposes a fee on air tickets, international air tickets, tickets within Africa, tickets within the ECOWAS region, and also domestic tickets. Now that money is going to go into a fund, and that fund is going to be used to develop the airports around the country. And I'm pleased to announce to you that Wa is going to be a beneficiary of this fund with the construction of a new airport, not the old airport. With the construction of a new airport, we all know that the current location of the airport is not the best. As you yourselves can see, the road was diverted around the runway. And so airport company has decided a site was allocated years ago. I don't know where it is, but they've come. I hear they were here 2 weeks ago to inspect the site, and I think that construction of a new airport for Upper West here in Wa will start soon.
Announced that his government is far advanced in establishing the Women's Development Bank. He says the Vice President, who has been leading the process, will soon present the bank's structure and objectives to Cabinet.
We also are far advanced with the establishment of the Women's Bank. The Vice President has been leading it, and they've made progress, and she hinted me that they'll soon be bringing a presentation to Cabinet to explain the structure and the objectives of the bank. This bank is going to help women to establish their businesses, and in the northern sector we know that share is one of the important industries that women participate in. And so the Women's Bank in the Upper West region is going to target mothers who are in the share nut industry. And so during the season when share nuts are being picked, they will be given small credit so that they can go into the bush and pick the nuts. They will be giving money so that as cooperatives, they can hire tricycles to take them further into the bush and pick the share nuts. And the tricycles will bring them back with the share nuts so that they don't have to carry those heavy pans on their heads anymore. I want to thank my father, the Wana, for today making a declaration that we should make the chopping down of share nut trees a crime, and that assemblies and the security agencies should enforce it. This hub is envisioned as a world-class phased agro-industrial ecosystem designed around sustainability, innovation, and inclusion. And it will bring together modern share processing facilities for cosmetic production, for food, for nutraceuticals, and the pharmaceutical markets. It will also bring together quality control laboratories, training, and capacity building centers. Also included will be storage, logistics, warehousing, and direct market access. At full maturity, the Share Park ecosystem is expected to empower over 7,000 women in the Upper West. It will support thousands of youth jobs. It will anchor value chains, not only for share, but also for associated products such as groundnuts, soya beans, sorghum, dawa, cotton, and honey.
Meanwhile, the president has arrived in Dubai to attend this year's World Government Summit. After the summit, he will continue to Zambia for a 3-day state visit at the invitation of President Hackman Agyeman. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba reports.
Into a statement by the spokesperson to the President and Minister for Government Communications, the President is scheduled to participate in the World Government 2026, scheduled from 2nd February to 4th February. According to the statement, the President will be transported to Dubai on board a special aircraft provided by the ruler of the UAE, which will also take him and his delegation to Zambia to commence the 3-day state visit from 4th to the 6th February. During the visit, President Mahama will hold bilateral talks with the President of Zambia on issues of mutual interest, including strengthening diplomatic relations, enhancing trade and investment cooperation, and exploring collaborative opportunities within the framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. A key highlight of the visit will be President Mahama's address to the Parliament of Zambia, where he's expected to share Ghana's vision for a more integrated and prosperous Africa. President Mahama will also meet with members of the Ghanaian community in Lusaka to interact with compatriots living and working in Zambia. There will also be a Ghana-Zambia business dialogue co-chaired by President Mahama and the Zambian president. The dialogue will provide a platform for Ghana to showcase its digital technologies and fintech services to Zambian businesses and government institutions, fostering economic partnerships and knowledge exchange between the two countries.
Moving on, the Tono and Via irrigation dams, once reliable lifelines for dry season farming in the Upper East region, are now under growing threat. Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall and prolonged dry spells linked to climate change are reducing water levels and disrupting carefully planned irrigation schedules. There's more on this report.
The Tono Dam, located in Navrongo in the Kasina-Nankana municipality, and the Via Dam, located in the Bongo district, have for decades sustained thousands of smallholder farmers. Constructed in the 1970s, the dams were designed to support dry season farming and stabilize food production in one of the country's most climate vulnerable zones. Today, however, that lifeline is under increasing threat. Climate change, defined as long-term changes in temperature, rainfall patterns, and weather extremes, largely driven by human activities such as fossil fuel use and deforestation, is putting unprecedented pressure on the Tono and Via irrigation dams and the farming communities that depend on them. According to the irrigation company of Upper Region, ICOR, which manages both facilities, rising temperatures and erratic rainfall have made it increasingly difficult to operate the irrigation schemes as planned. Dominic Anargede is acting managing director of ICOR.
In those days, by April, May, we'll start rainy season. These days, we'll start somewhere June, July. What it means is that we are not longer able to maintain what we call our crop calendar. And we have to give what we call supplementary irrigation. And supplementary irrigation is supposed to just supplement the efforts of the rainfall. But sometimes you end up giving too much water, even during that period. And what is left for the dry season is now reduced. Then also, because of rise in temperatures resulting from climate change, then the surface level of the water becomes so hot. So it is estimated that monthly basis it will lose about 2 to 2.5 million cubic meters of water.
As the rainfall has become more unreliable across the region, more people are moving closer to the dams to engage in irrigated farming.
Climate change has pushed some farmers to now want to farm around the buffer zone, and that also pushes some debris into the dam. We have been fighting that.
Downstream in the lowlands under the Tono irrigation scheme, farmers are facing mounting uncertainty. Some currently risk losing their crops because ICOR must halt water supply to allow for canal cleaning and maintenance ahead of the dry season farming window.
Farmers were not able to go in the time they were supposed to. The rains did not come for them to start early. And the ICO calendar, they have a calendar that says start now and end at this time. So if the farmer is not able to fall in line with the ICO calendar, then at the time his crop will still need water. That is the time ICO might want to carry out maintenance.
We don't start the season early. The rain pattern too, it doesn't come early, or it comes and goes off. Those are the challenges that we are facing from the project. And if it happens like that, we have low yield.
ICO maintains that the irrigation calendar must be followed to ensure long-term functionality of the system.
A number of farmers, just a few of them, are having harvested, and they are demanding also open water again. Can you imagine that? And that is supposed to be the rainy season, which started somewhere June, July. So see that the main rain will stop, but we still have to supply water to supplement that rainy season, and that now go to reduce the amount of water available for our main dry season.
Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sorry, Tono, Upper East Region.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Government has described the past 2 decades of the Center for Migration Studies as a period of distinguished contribution to migration research, policy engagement and strategic partnerships aimed at shaping the future of human mobility. This was highlighted at the launch of the Center's 20th anniversary celebrations at the University of Ghana, where stakeholders reflected on the institution's role in deepening understanding of migration and its impact on national development. The following report has more.
The Center for Migration Studies at the University of Ghana marked 20 years of research, policy engagement and advocacy in the field of migration with a colorful ceremony in Accra. The event brought together academia, government officials, development partners and policy experts, all of whom underscored the importance of migration as a development tool rather than a security threat. Speakers at the event noted that migrants and foreign nationals continue to make meaningful contributions to the economic and social development of host countries. Established in 2006, the Center for Migration Studies remains the only academic institution of its kind in West Africa, offering graduate and postgraduate training in migration studies. Over the years, it has played a critical role in shaping migration discourse through research, capacity building, and policy engagement. The director of the center, Professor Mary Boatema Setrana, paid tribute to the founders of the institution, acknowledging their foresight and commitment to advancing migration studies in Ghana and beyond.
I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to all those who have contributed to the establishment and development of the Center for Migration Studies. I am particularly grateful to the founding members, especially Emerita Professor Techua Menu, who was instrumental in setting up the center. Professor Mariama Awumila, the founding director, Professor Peter Korte, the founding deputy director, as well as Professor John Anefi, Professor Stephen Kwanche, whose contributions were central to the center's early foundations. I also wish to specially acknowledge the past directors of the center, Professor Delali Badasu and Professor Joseph Tay, for their leadership and stewardship which strengthen the center's academic programs, research output, and policy engagement. In addition, I thank the members of the CMS Management Committee and the Interfaculty Group for their sustained guidance and support to the center over the years. I am also grateful to former Vice Chancellor, Professor Tego, former Dean of the then Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Achuai, and former registrars, Mr. Konu and Mr. Budu.
Well, let's go back to our first story on the NPP's just ended primaries. We put these into proper perspective, and joining me is Chairman of the NPP's Council of Elders, Hackman Agyeman. We're grateful for joining us this morning on our desk. Thank you very much. And
my pleasure.
Much of the conversation today has been about reconciliation and unity, especially after what many have described as a bruising campaign. From your perspective, what should a genuine reconciliation process look like? How quickly must it begin?
Well, thank you very much. I don't think there's any problem as far as that is concerned. Reconciliation, by its very definition, if we are all coming together, forgiving ourselves what has gone wrong, what has gone right, and coming together as one team. After all, we are from one stable, as I always say. So I don't see why anybody creates problems for us. Our fear was that after the election, sometimes you have all manner of people trying to derail our journey to coming together. But now that we have understood ourselves, the joy of the situation is that everybody accepted this election as very free, fair, and transparent. And we'd like to thank all those who contributed to it. Coming back to the issue of reconciliation, that is essence of forming a political party is to win power. Now, now look at it, we have a duopoly, two major parties. And if we don't get together, there's no way we can win. So anybody who is in the party and understands the mission of the party should work towards us being each other's keeper, being brothers, and at the same time going forward with a combined agenda dedicated to uplifting people of Ghana to another level of development, and that will be impressive to the people of Ghana so that it will be given to us. We have been through it before, 1996. I was part of it. We had only 61 votes. By the next election, we had worked hard enough to make us win and President Kufuor become the president of the nation. So we've done it before and we know we can do it. But what's important is we have to be disciplined as a group. If there's no discipline in any group, you have a problem. So we're going to make sure, Council of Elders, assuring everybody that everybody will always be done equitably without anybody being short. In return, we expect nothing but absolute dedication to the party and its programs and its onward march to 2028.
And which format is it going to take? Are you going to start from the grassroots, or you start from the leaders of the various camps, Kennedy Agyapong, Brian Acheampong, and the rest? How will it look like?
My lady, it's not a matter. There's no specific. It's a human institution. So whatever we start, that will give us the results. That's what we can do. We could say that we are starting from the so-called grassroots. Everybody's a member of the grassroots. We all belong. I belong to a constituency. I belong to a polling station. So that's the grassroots. So we all have to work together. I think that what you are asking us is a strategy that we would employ. But the strategy is, for me, straightforward and simple. Whether whichever group you belong to, wherever constituency you are, polling station you are, your job is to work for the advancement of the party. And I don't think there's a sort of strict laid down rule out where you start. Now we have a Flagbearer who is very experienced and who is loved by the majority of the people of the party. They all come together and say that there were only 5, one was bound to win, and he's won. So we all gather together, him holding the flag, giving the necessary push, and then making sure that our party becomes more attractive. Whatever we did must have gone wrong in the past, we have to correct. As I said, a human institution, we are not infallible. We might have made a couple of mistakes, but believe you me, we are determined to work at all these problems so that we will become one solid, consolidated party that will ensure that we win and that will get the confidence of the Ghanaian population. And then going forward, it becomes that doable. I have absolutely no doubt that Dr. Bawumia, with his experience in governance and everything, would lead us into the promised land, which we have promised our people.
Well, are you involving former presidents John Ejekum Kufuor and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in healing the divisions and rallying all factions?
Madam, we have A to Z, everybody. They are all committed parties. So anybody who can play any role is not restricted to the so-called leadership. It's not restricted to who has been president for what. All of them, the president, the leadership, everybody. And you tell your neighbor, your brother, your sister, listen, it's over. Now we are one team. And so everybody will be involved. But of course, there will be leadership. And the leadership, they will be part of the joint leadership that will push it together with the national officers who will elect our flag bearer, the former presidents, former ministers, National Council of Elders, all of us. And if you don't give us your best for us to achieve what we desire to do, then you are not party members. So I think the question of whether Akufo-Addo or is coming is moot. It goes without saying, as the French will say, it goes without saying that they would be part and parcel, a very active part of the march forward to consolidation, march forward to discipline our party, the march forward to eventually in 2028 win the elections as we hope to do.
The party adopted a top-down approach by electing the flag bearer before other national executives. Well, based on this process, do you see this becoming a permanent feature, or this is just a one-off?
People like to think that it was a knee-jerk reaction to the problem we had. But then it was necessary. We've been beset by one or two little problems. And so we thought that the National Council thought that if we have a flag bearer now, who would be tantamount to, would be the leader of the party, together with the national chairman, then we have a case of making sure that we are together. I don't think that this one would be any disadvantage. In fact, there will be somebody who can be identified, who can react to situations as and when they develop from the governing party. I mean, if you look at the case of the UK, the moment one leader is moved, within 3 days, before he leaves, after he leaves, another leader is put in place. So, i.e., that person then will be the main spokesperson and take on the ruling party, whatever they do, whether it's right, then put it on. So I think that it is an advantage this time to have a flag bearer now who can react to situations as they come. And I think that's politics. Everybody, we have to sell ourselves, we have to sell our policies and programs. And if you don't have anybody leading you, then it becomes a bit messy and fluid. But when it's solid that this man speaks, and he speaks for the party, I think the situation as we found ourselves and what we have achieved now would be very advantageous to us. And if somebody says anything, either Dr. Bawumia will speak, or he would designate somebody to react to it. And then that brings to the cohesion that is necessary within the political party. The cohesion will come, and then we'll go forward.
Right, and campaign finance, it continues to generate debate. You know, I want to know if you're of the view that practices such as providing breakfast, TNT to delegates amount to inducement, or do you see this as an unavoidable reality of political campaigns?
Sweetheart, I believe that in the fullness of time, we should look at these things very critically. Our ultimate aim is to let every member in good standing vote. The idea is, and we may be wrong, we are humans, is that when we have about 2-3 million people voting, even for these primaries, then the issue of TNT, which is tantamount to inducement, as you say, I mean, it's a thing of the past. We believe that we have to keep doing and then changing our rules of procedure. This time, we try to expand the electoral college, but because a lot of them have died over the years, the figures were almost the same as it was in 2023 or whatever, last time. So it's a major problem that we have to resolve, because it's not whoever has money that must lead the party. And if it's reduced to finances or money, then we won't get the right person to lead the party. No, we have to make sure that we change the status quo eventually. That's a gradual process, and then when you come, even in certain jurisdictions, the short list is made by the elders. They look at everybody's capability, capacity, and then they go, it's not everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who becomes candidate. No. I think what we do, some of them do, is that they produce about 5 people, and then the voting is done. And you go UK, the 1932 group, very influential, and who becomes the leader of the Conservative Party, and we are conservatives within our environment here. And we believe that we should keep looking at this situation in a manner that will eventually make sure that the influence of money is there. Because we are concerned about it. I wouldn't hide it. We are concerned about it. If somebody has money, comes and he buys the situation, before you know, your party has been bought over. And we don't intend to sell our party. No. We would make sure that we do the right thing. And if monetization, we all think is bad, it's what is happening. We will have to pay for it. The money that we spend in given to the people, which you refer to, can easily be used in making sure we produce documentation, we do programs that will let the people vote for us.
Right.
And so if you spend so much money, my dear, then you find that at the end of the day, all your money is finished. Your strength is completely withdrawn down. And then where do you get money to do your campaign? So we have to make sure that money does not become the determining factor in a situation such as ours. And so in the fullness of time, we would have to change the status quo and make sure that we do what is right.
Yeah, and then just before you go, very briefly for me, I beg you, because of time, what's the position of the party on personalities like Professor Frimpong Boateng and also Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, who have recently filed a case in court about scrapping the delegate system? But for people like that who are embittered, how are you also bringing them onto the fold? Very, very briefly.
Well, what they are doing by way of going to court is their own personal business, and it's their right as citizens that we cannot interfere with. But coming to their behavior vis-a-vis the party, we would have to consider what to do if any disciplinary action is required. We would make sure we deliver it without fear or favor. Because if you don't do that, the discipline breaks down completely. And it is not proper. Actually, that is my personal view. It is not proper for anybody to go and stand using, say, a mechanism like yours and begin to insult the party or say things that mother said. After all, every family, every organization has a little secret somewhere. There's no organization, there's no family that has no secret. So if something has happened, you don't just go and wash it in public. No.
All right.
This is my personal view. So whatever it is, if the appropriate organs of the party sit down and they believe that they have to take action, or they believe that things must be done in a different way, they will be done without fear or favor. The party is bigger than anybody.
Right.
So this is what I can say about that particular situation. As for going to court, they are citizens, they can do what they want to do. If the court gives the judgment, we follow. But for now, what they have done, if we consider it as detrimental to the party, then we will be failing in our duties if we don't correct it. Then you'll be followed by another and another and another, and becomes widespread like a disease. No, we would have to make sure that everybody walks a straight and narrow path and be disciplined. And one of the things we are going to do is what we are going to do together, assist the Flagbearer. He mentioned discipline in his own speech, and we are going to make sure we support him, as they say, hold his waist to move forward, make sure that discipline comes to pass.
Okay. Grateful for your time this morning, and we heard Hackman Agyeman is chairman of the Council of Elders of the New Patriotic Party. Right about now, we move to Michelle with the latest in business. Michelle.
Mamiesi, thank you. Now let's get into our stories. Prices of petroleum products are set to increase significantly today, according to the industry data that guides fuel price adjustments for the next 2 weeks. There's more in this report.
Based on the data, petrol is likely to be increased by up to 2% per litre and could be sold at 11 Ghana cedis 48 pesos, up from the current price of about 10 Ghana cedis per litre. Diesel, on the other hand, is projected to witness one of the highest increase, going up by more than 5% per litre. However, LPG will witness just under 1% hike per kilogram. The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies has indicated that based on the current market conditions, it is likely that most of the oil marketing companies will keep prices unchanged. However, majority of the oil marketing companies that we have engaged have told Joy Business that they will not rush to increase their prices from today, but will be monitoring movements by some of the market leaders before they react. There are currently more than 200 oil marketing companies in Ghana. Prices are going up on the local market due to the city's depreciation against the dollar over the past weeks and rising prices on the international market.
Meanwhile, some oil marketing companies have already begun increasing prices at the pumps. Now, Star Oil and GOIL have marginally raised the price of petrol to 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre. However, Star Oil has maintained the price of diesel at 10 cedis 97 pesos, while GOIL has increased diesel to 11 cedis 90 pesos per litre. Other major marketing companies, including Zen Petroleum, have also adjusted prices at the pumps. In a related development, the National Petroleum Authority has raised the fuel price floor for the next 2 weeks. According to the data cited by Joy Business, Petrol should not be sold below 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre, while diesel should not be sold below 10 cedis 95 pesos. This move is expected to compel more oil marketing companies to increase prices, as no firm is permitted to sell below the approved price floor. Well, that'll be all for business. I am Michelle Ejekum. The small business news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Mamisi.
And that'll be all for Joy News Desk. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow with more.